Recently, Funko Pop released new collectible figures of the 1964 Addams Family, and they're actually very nice. They got Gomez with a jack-o'-lantern, Morticia in her iconic chair, Wednesday hitting the droop, and Uncle Fester next to their mansion. But there's one very important family member missing. Thing is missing. Well, no, I meant an actual person. Besides, Thing is with Uncle Fester. Is it Lurch? No, I said a family member. Oh, I know who it is. It's Grandmama. Well, she is missing, but no, I don't mean Grandmama. I mean Pugsley. Pugsley Addams, Morticia and Gomez's only son and a main character of the series, missing and forgotten in the new collection. And I think I know why he's missing. If you ask someone who's a fan of the Addams Family, or at least knows a little bit about the franchise, what character comes to mind when you think of the Addams Family, they'll probably be able to name at least one character. But I rarely see people name Pugsley, even though he's a main character in almost every adaptation in the franchise. Yet he gets overshadowed by other characters, mostly his sister Wednesday. A little while back before making this video, I did a poll on my community tab and I asked what character comes to mind when you think of the Addams Family. 89 people responded to the poll and 3 people said their character in the comments. So in total, 92 people. Wednesday was in first place with 60%, then Morticia with 18, Gomez with 16, Uncle Fester with 4, 3 people commented Lurch, so that's about 3%. And lastly, Pugsley had 2% of votes. He was the least remembered character out of all of the voters. Well, at least besides Grandmama, but it's Grandmama, she doesn't do much anyways. So why do fans and writers of the Addams Family often forget about Pugsley's character? And why did they not even care to make a new Funko Pop of him? I guess we'll have to find out in this video. I think that Pugsley started to get pushed to the side because of Wednesday and the shift of her personality. There are really 2 different sides to Wednesday's characterization, and I'll name them pre- and post-Sonnenfeld eras. Barry Sonnenfeld was a director of the 1991 and 1993 films, and these 2 films marked the point when Wednesday's personality shifted a lot. In the pre-Sonnenfeld era, Wednesday is portrayed as very young, sweet, and overall pretty normal. She's kinda creepy, but she's a sweet kid. This is kind of the same with Pugsley too, especially in the 1964 series. This portrayal of Wednesday is definitely more cheerful than her comic counterpart, and her relationship with Pugsley reflects this. They usually had equal amount of scenes and got along pretty well. I mean, they always get along pretty well, but they don't try to poison each other like in the comics. But starting with the 1991 film, Wednesday was portrayed as more mature, deadpan, blunt, and sadistic. Along with Christina Ricci's iconic performance, this personality shift made Wednesday a fan favorite and got Pugsley's character pushed to the side more, slowly getting less arcs and adaptations and his personality slowly shifting over time. Shifting so much that the comics version of Pugsley and the Wednesday version of Pugsley are 2 different personalities. Pugsley's personality is always changing in every adaptation and it's rarely consistent. Usually every other character is pretty much the same in most adaptations, and if they do change them a bit, they still always have similar traits. Like Gomez and Morticia are always crazy about each other, Uncle Fester always has electricity powers, and since the 90s adaptations, Wednesday has always been unemotional and blunt. And we all know Cousin It's always a player. But it's rare for Pugsley to have any distinct trait across adaptations. In the Charles Addams comic, his character description reads as an energetic monster of a boy, blonde red hair, popped blue eyes, and a dedicated troublemaker. In other words, the kid next door. Genius in his own way. He makes toy guillotines, full-size racks, threatens to poison his sister, can turn himself into Mr. Hyde with an ordinary chemistry set. His voice is hoarse, is sometimes allowed an occasional cigar. So we can see that Pugsley is somewhat of an evil genius. He's a troublemaker, but he can make all sorts of inventions, and I think that trait was slowly lost over time. So let's go through some of the notable adaptations to see how much they changed from Charles Addams' vision. In the 1964 series, Pugsley isn't much of a troublemaker at all. He's actually just a really good kid. He tries to get a job, he joins the Boy Scouts, etc. But that's probably being a troublemaker in Morticia and Gomez's eyes, so that would make sense. He doesn't try to poison Wednesday or anything like that. They actually get along very well in the show. He's basically just a normal kid, but sometimes he just plays with dynamite and decapitates dolls with his sister. He's definitely a genius though because he has insane engineering skills. He built a disintegrator gun, an anti-gravity gun, the first home computer with Gomez, and a robot with Gomez and Fester. He also often plays with his chemistry set. In the 1977 film, which has the same cast as the 1964 series, Pugsley becomes a witch doctor. So we can see that he's still definitely a genius in his own way. He's also older than Wednesday in this, and he probably has a little bit more screen time than her. In the 1991 and 1993 films, Pugsley isn't smart, but he isn't stupid either. He's just pretty average. He's now younger than Wednesday, and she's often seen torturing him. But this is also when Wednesday has her personality change, so I guess their dynamic has to change too. And this is the same dynamic that they pretty much always have post-Sonnenfeld. In the 1992 series, he actually acts like a troublemaker. He has to be in a straitjacket while at school, and he tries to poison Wednesday. This is actually the only post-Sonnenfeld adaptation where Pugsley is more violent than Wednesday. In the 1998 film, Pugsley didn't really do much of anything. He's kind of dumb, and he lets Wednesday torture him. Gomez also says this.
Even Pugsley spells better than that, and his teachers only last half the year.
ADDAMS.
That's right. Good boy.
I assume they're saying Pugsley was so horrible in school that his teachers left in the middle of the year, so that's why he's bad at spelling. This is really the first film that we see a shift in Pugsley's character to be a dumb comic relief. In the 2019 and 2022 films, he's really dumbed down so much. He's portrayed as sloppy and clumsy. He is violent though, and he's a troublemaker, so I'll give them that. I won't really say he's a genius though. And finally, in the Wednesday series, he's just normal. He isn't dumb, he isn't smart. Honestly, he's just a sweet kid, but he's a pushover. He gets shoved in a locker by some bullies, and Wednesday has to save him and get revenge for him. And I thought this was so out of character because he's supposed to be a violent, evil mastermind kid. Why is he letting these people bully him? But as you can see, the writers don't even know how to characterize Pugsley or what traits to give him. Because of Wednesday's personality being so beloved by fans, Pugsley's personality had to shift around hers to fit the story. And most people really don't mind it because Pugsley never had a chance to really get expanded on. And a lot of the time that Pugsley has arcs, they're really out of character or just in bad adaptations that most people don't like. That's why it's so hard to like Pugsley as a character, because people don't know what his personality is and it's always changing. Like, is he supposed to be a genius? Is he violent? Is he stupid? Is he a nice kid? It seems like the writers don't even know what to do with him, making them write less stuff for him to do and making Wednesday outshine him more. And since they know Wednesday is the fan favorite, it's like they don't even try to make him interesting anymore. All of the post-Sonnenfeld adaptations mimic the 1991 and 1993 films, making Wednesday have her iconic personality, and eventually Pugsley's character traits got watered down so much that they aren't even in modern adaptations. So I guess that explains why they didn't even care to make a new Funko Pop of him. So is there hope, or will Pugsley Addams be forgotten forever? He doesn't have to be if the writers actually put effort into his character and add in those original personality traits. I did like how he used to invent things, but also be a devious little kid that had to be put in a straitjacket. He was such an interesting character in the way that Charles Addams described him, and I think his best portrayals were in the 1964 and 1992 series. I think it's possible if the writers gave his character a chance to be great and didn't dumb him down. Maybe his personality could even get an upgrade like Wednesday's did. I think Pugsley has a lot of potential, and hopefully he can be in the Wednesday series more next season so we can see how they will build his personality more. Even though I doubt they will change his personality from being a pushover to a devious evil genius in a straitjacket. But that's it for this video. Let me know what character comes to mind when you think of the Addams family, and what you guys think about Pugsley's character and his personality. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe so I can buy the new Addams Family Funko Pops. I hope to see you in the next video.